Hi everyone, sorry about that. Internet dropped out, which is very unfortunate. Still doing that white shirt though. I quickly realised that there was something very wrong and rushed over to save you all. Oh, was YouTube fed up with me? Meanwhile, no. Sorry about that, Alan. If you're still around, darling. Oh, itchy face. It's a disgrace, itchy face. It's all the heat and steam. Who remembers Point Horror books? Did you enjoy them? I did, definitely. And I'm having a bit of a resurgence with them. And I'm starting to collect the books that I had when I was younger. I don't know what happened to all my original ones. I'm really sad that I lost them because, R.L. Stein, Richard Tankersley Kruzik, Caroline B. Cooney. Yeah. Oldies but goodies. There we are. We're doing marvellous today. Absolutely marvellous. Always takes me a full day to get through this gentleman's laundry. So that's why I dedicate Thursdays to him. Because it just takes so long. He never sends anything easy to iron. It's always scrumpled up, crunched up, difficult. Still, they're a lovely couple. And that's why I with them. Do you know what we're having for dinner tonight? Tagliatelle carbonara. I'm looking forward to that. Do you know what I used to love when I was a kid? Do you remember ham and cheese toasties from your toasting machine? And sometimes you were feeling a bit fancy, you put some pineapple in and pretend it was like pineapple pizza. And if you're feeling really fancy and also a bit daft, you put tomato in with your cheese. And I can honestly say, I don't know why anybody would do that because tomatoes are water-based vegetable. So you end up with soggy bread that's like a bazillion degrees and practically volcanic in nature. So your mouth's going to end up with, third-degree burns. And yet we thought it was the height of sophistication to have all of that with a chocolate malt drink. What were we thinking? And no kitchen was complete without a soda stream. Get busy with the busy. Do you remember that? Now, I'm going to come across as a bit salty here. And I've mentioned this before. But when I was a little girl, my deepest desire in the whole universe was to own my own Mr. Frosty. And to this day, I have never owned a Mr. Frosty from the Argos catalogue. Now, that is a very British thing. And I am sure there are people out there that own a Mr. Frosty. And I want to know, am I missing out? My life, would it have been complete having a Mr. Frosty? I will never know because I don't even think you can get a Mr. Frosty anymore. And all I wanted it was because I wanted a blue raspberry slush puppy by Mr. Frosty. I had a space hopper. I had an impossible ball. Do you remember Giggly Wigglies? Those plastic toy things with faces on that you could throw and they'd wiggle everywhere and supposedly make you laugh. And Care Bears. I had a Care Bear. I had Bedtime Bear. And I also had Cindy and Golden Girls, but not the Golden Girls on the TV show. These were like action figure, like toy dolls. And there was a dragon. There was Golden Girl, who was the queen of the goodies, and the Dragon Queen, who was the queen of the baddies. And we thought that they were the bees and knees, and I still have all those dollies. They're in the garage in a box, along with my other Cindy dolls. Oh, how I love Cindy. My sister was into My Little Pony. But I don't suppose she's got any of those left either. I don't usually talk about her, for obvious reasons. Most of them are nightmare in value. That was a bit easier to do. Not as bad as the other shirts. Maybe we're getting towards the better ones. I remember my mum and dad having a Mr. Coffee machine in the kitchen. And that is an American import. A Mr. Coffee. And they used to have French roast in powder form and Taylor's of Harrogate. And upstairs in the kitchen I have a bean to cup machine. And inside the machine, I have the Italian dark roast, because that's my favourite. I know, Alan, me too. My internet. It crashed. Sometimes that happens. You can't help it. The problems of living in a modern society. You know, if you'd have told me when I was a child that the internet was going to be a thing, it was going to be massive, and it was going to be YouTube, I'd never have believed you, because it's such a space age thing. I mean, obviously not for the youngsters that are growing up with it, but for me, this is a phenomenal experience that I'm able to have, to be able to talk to anybody from around the world through my computer. I mean, like I say, when I was a child, I looked at the BBC computer being wheeled in and powered up by a floppy disk. And I thought that that was really neat technology. And if child me could have seen this setup that we have now, I would have thought I was reading a science fiction book. It literally blows my mind that I am able to sit and stand here and being connection with you all, and I just think that that is so cool. And honestly, I it blows my mind. It really does. I mean, lots of the technology. I remember videos coming out, and if you were really, really lucky at Christmas time, you got to be able to pick a film. And back in the day, buying a movie on video for the family, you were looking at £20-30 to be able to buy this film. And now, if I want to watch film, I have to just do is go onto Netflix and stream it. I mean, I still have. Here we are. Robert Englund. VHS. Phantom of the Opera. Right? Yeah. And I still have my old VHS upstairs. And anytime I want, I can pop a video in. And it just literally blows my mind. I don't even have to do that anymore. That is completely old school. And all I have to do is stream it, and it's there. My first computer was an Amstrad. The games were on tape. Yes, exactly. And took about 15 minutes to load up. In some ways, we are very futuristic, but in other ways, less so than we think. Yeah, exactly. ZX81. You remember? It had the stripes on the side. It was grey. It was about yay big, and it had 1 megabyte of memory. 1 meg. I've got terabytes, and I still don't have enough memory. You know, I have a Power 2 behind my computer. Backup, external hard drive backups, right? And I've nearly filled one. And it had a terabyte on there. I've nearly filled a terabyte. How? Because I've never shut up. I've never stopped talking. That's what it is. You know, I mean, 1 meg, 1 meg of memory. And we thought that was so cool. And then along came DVDs. And wow, you know, I remember a friend of mine, and you know, when we say this, I mean, this shows how old we are. Be kind, rewind, right? Blockbuster video rental. Where were you on a Friday night? You were perusing the films with a bag of Doritos in one arm and a bottle of Coke or Pepsi, if that was your choice, in the other. And you'd be at the Blockbusters, and you'd be picking your video, right? And So yeah, it's Be Kind, Rewind, which was what we used to do. And then total game changer, along come DVDs. And I remember a friend of mine saying he was waiting over half an hour and he was trying to rewind the DVD. And I looked at him and I said, why? Why are you trying to rewind a DVD? You can't. And he goes, yeah. He said, it took me half an hour to realise. And we were in hysterics. We could not stop laughing. And it's because we were indoctrinated into the mantra of Be Kind, Rewind with videos. When you took them back to the video store, one of the pet peeves that a lot of video store owners, which were usually news agents, that had a little bit of a stack of videos that you could rent, right? Because that was the thing, right, in the 80s. If you weren't Blockbusters, but you were a local news agent, you could still sort of jump in on the action. And sometimes if you found them really good sort of news agents, they might have a selection of video nasties which weren't on display, but if you knew them and they knew you, you could sometimes rent them. Yeah, like that it was. And yeah, so we were helpless laughing, saying, why on earth are you trying to read? Because we were always taught to be kind, rewind. And I thought you had to do that with a DVD. And we were hysterically laughing. Yeah, Back to the Future, 2015, Alan. Absolutely. Flying cars. Did you not want a pair of those Nike lace-up trainers and a hoverboard? What kid didn't want a hoverboard? And those trainers were just like, and look, another Easter egg. What film was Marty McFly ducking from in Back to the Future Part 2? That's right. Jaws. Yeah. And the hologram shoots out and it goes, her. And he thinks it's going to eat him. Exactly. You know, there's so many things that we were kind of like told we were going to get in the future. We're not quite there yet with flying cars and flying bikes. You know what? Maybe in 2076, when I will be the grand age of 100 years old, because that's almost 51 years into the future, it might happen. We may live to see flying cars and flying bikes and lace-up trainers and hoverboards. You never know. After this shirt, I've got one more shirt that needs to be done, and then we're on to the home straight with t-shirts. Look at the smile on my face. The smile on my face says it all. Oh, smile on my face says I've run out of water. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, goodness me. I think I will be very glad when I've done this lot. I had to put the dryer on for another half an hour. Not dry enough. Nobody wants a soggy towel because you can't go around the universe unless you know where your towel is. And if you've got a soggy towel, that will do no good at all. Ford Prefect will be very, very fed up with Arthur Dent. Although I don't think Trillian and Zaphod Beetlebod will be that bothered. And Marvin will be too depressed to even care. Oh gosh, it's been a long one today, but I am most pleased that I have been able to get this work done. At least they will have clean clothes for the weekend. I only do them twice a month, 2 days out of the month. I'm sure they'll be very pleased. One of these days there'll be a machine, not human, but an actual machine that will stand like me, and its sole purpose will be to do the ironing. And there is somebody out there that's going to invent that, I hope. One day I'll be too old to stand here and do the ironing. Won't I? Be an old lady. And lots of happy memories and movies and books and TV shows and music. You know, I once met Alice Cooper, and he was so lovely. He was such a nice guy. And I thanked him. I actually popped onto Twitter when it was called Twitter, and I thanked him. And I told him, you know, where we, and it was the year that my husband had his heart attack. So it was 9 years ago that I met Alice Cooper. And we were in Leeds and we'd gone to see him. And that's how long ago it was. It was his Welcome to My Nightmare tour. And just before we went in, there was another group playing called The Tube. And if you know them, they're from the 80s. Anyway, they were like the warm-up band. And we were just about to go in and they were getting everything ready. So Vincent Vernier, that's his real name, could get onto the stage and start, you know, doing the Welcome to My Nightmare tour. And my husband wasn't feeling too grand at the time. He just needed to take some of his medication because, as many of you know, with him having his heart attack, he's now on 6 different tablets and he has to take them daily. And if he doesn't and he drops over, and that's it, we'll never see him again. So he just needed his medication and we needed a glass of water. And Vincent, Alice, noticed that my husband wasn't feeling too grand, and he said, "Oh," he said, are you, are you all right?" And my husband said, "Look, I just need some water so I can take some medication." He said, "We're going to be seeing you in a bit on the stage." He said, "I don't want to keel over and have another heart attack before I have a chance to see you." And bless him, Alice got my husband organised with a bottle of really chilled water. And one of his roadies got it. And my husband managed to take his medication and he was fine. And we went into the concert and we went to see Alice Cooper. And and we just had the best night. I went on to Twitter to say, "Oh, thank you so much. It was the first time I've ever had the opportunity to see you, and you know, tickets that my husband had bought me for my 40th birthday." And we just wanted to say thank you so much for getting him a bottle of water so he could take his medication before we went in to see you. And he wrote back, goes, "Oh, you're the lady." And I went, "Yeah, that's us." And we just wanted to say thank you so much. And we'd had such a lovely evening. And he was like, "Oh, I'm really, really pleased. I'm really pleased that you had such a good time. And I'm really glad that your husband's okay. And I'm glad I could get him the water so he could, so he'd be all right." And he was like, "Yeah." And we just had the best night. And it was so cool. Really nice guy. Really, really lovely man. So I just wanted you to know that. Alice Cooper is not scary. He's lovely. And yeah, that was 9 years ago. In October. Or November. I think it was November. Because I remember we just got the the chocolate advent calendars had been delivered by Amazon. And we had to rush home to pick them up because my daughter had left them on top of the radiator and the heating was going to come on, and we would have had melted chocolate all over the floor. And that's why after we dropped them at the babysitters, we had to come home before we could go to the concert to get the chocolate advent calendars off the radiator and into the garage where it was nice and cold. And yeah, I just remember it. So yeah, it was November when we went on to see Welcome to My Nightmare Tour. Do I remember Laserdiscs? Yes, I do. I do remember Laserdiscs. Although I don't think they were around very long, if I remember rightly. I need a drink of water. That's better. Starting to get a bit of a dry throat. And as I say, in my life, it has never been boring. Oh, gracious. I am down to my last shirt. After this, it's t-shirts. And I can't wait. And then you will have stayed with me while I have done all of the ironing today. Nice. I've really been so very privileged to have been able to spend this time with you guys. And ladies and gents. I've really enjoyed it. I've not been able to go live before. So, been a whole new experience for me. And I've really enjoyed it. I'll say one thing. I know if you got insomnia tonight, pop this on. You'll be asleep in no time. I'm really enjoying that spiders book that I'm reading at the moment. The giant spider that's been lolloping across the Northumbrian woodland, terrorizing Newcastle. Turned out it was a zoology student that's going around and eating all the other zoology students, and is now flown all the way to Texas to try and find out why he turns into a carnivorous spider. Or is he a student anyway? Whether or not he's a student of zoology, I don't know. But it's a rollicking good read, is Scuttle. Barnaby Walters, you are hilarious. There we are, 2 sleeves. Do you know what else I've got to do today? Clean out the tumble dryer and the washing machine. I mean, good grief, do I know how to rock and roll? And I've also got my daughter's uniform to press. So technically, that's the last 2 bits that I've got to sort before I can put my board away. It's a good job I like ironing. There we are. Won't be long anyway. I've got another half an hour. I started ironing at 11. I think I should finish ironing about 3. I hope. There we are. All those shirts. You've never seen so many. Right. Last shirt done. Here we go. I think there's about 30 items here. Okay, t-shirt time. Yay! Oh, gosh, be glad when all this is done. Daughter's out having a driving lesson today. She resits her practical, the written exam part at the end of this month. And if she passes it, because it'll be a second attempt, then she'll be able to go and take the actual physical driving test. I think she'll make a very good driver. But I've said before, she even thinks about going out to Australia or New Zealand, she needs to have a driver's license. I said, because it's not like it is in this country, where everything's very, very close together and localised. New Zealand, if you're a nurse, you might be a rural nurse that goes out and does your 12 months secondment out in the countryside. And if that's the case, you're going to need to be able to command the wheels beneath your feet. And I said that it will be very good, it will be very advantageous to her to have a clean driver's license. I said the same to the youngest. I don't know where she's going to end up or what she's going to be doing. Her dissertation was on Arctic terns and bird flu. So, goodness knows what she's going to end up doing. She really quite enjoys animal behaviour. And I've always said to her, if that's where your passions lie, my darling, then you go ahead and you do it. Oof, I've not seen this top in a wee while. Gosh, it's an oldie but a goodie. Oh, not much longer. Hardly anything left in the bag now. Be epically awesome to have this done. Most definitely. One thing's for sure, I'm feeling tired now. I hope you've enjoyed being here anyway and getting just a little insight into my life of what I do. But you never knew that I stood and did this 4 days out of the week. Tomorrow I'll be cleaning. There we are. 3 more t-shirts after this, then we're done. Yeah, any of the books that I've discussed today, you want to find any of them? Loads of playlists. I've over 2,100, 200 videos on my YouTube channel, ranging from Monty, when we first got him at 15 weeks. In fact, no, it was 18 weeks. We just took him on at the age of 18 weeks because we had to wait for him to he was still receiving treatment at 15 weeks. Bless him. You know, he's come from strength to strength, and he's such a love bug. Oh my goodness me, Mr. Cuddles. That's who Monty is. He loves a cuddle. But yeah, you'll be able to find all of Monty from when he first moved in, and he was no but a scrap of fluff, up to the magnificent lion that he is now. And he's a beefy lad. But he's a Norwegian forest cat. And they are beefy boys. He's a big kitty. When he sits up next to you on the sofa, you know it. Right, 2 more after this. So yeah, if you want a Ray Bradbury story read to you, or if you're interested in any of the books that I've mentioned as we've been going along, you'll find them all on the playlist. Or if you want to watch movies, I've put playlists up of everything from nuclear war to ghosts to animal attacks to end of the world apocalyptic dramas on radio plays. I think I've got something for everybody on there. One more, and then we're done. I hope you've all had an absolute blast going down memory lane and all the crazy things we used to do. And I've no doubt when I've got another huge pile of ironing for another customer, that I'll be very glad to sit with you, or should I say stand with you, and iron and chat. We can make a date for maybe Monday of next week. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Last piece. Salmon pink. Voila. All done in the end. Lucky me. Lucky everyone. Oh, not bad, eh? Not bad at all. You'll have to think about other subjects that we might want to talk about next time I'm on. Maybe there's books that we can discuss. Or films or music. There. Beautiful. Just got the neck to do. Sorted. That's that's the way. I just had to be sure. Just had to be sure. Turn my machine off. Put the hangers away. All done that's getting done. Now I'd like to say thank you very much for joining and for sitting with us. Oh, you want to know how many there are? Of course, I forgot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 this time. So that's not bad at all. And it is 14:42, so it's 2:42 in the afternoon. So that's not bad. We've done quite well today. How red I am. Well, my darlings, goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you on Monday next week. If you like what I do, you can always give me a thumbs up. And if you really like what I do, you can always give me a follow and see where we end up on our adventures. See you later.